Welcome back to Spey Casting with Jon. I'm Jon Hazlett of the Ashland Fly Shop, and we're going to do what I call the Spey Casting Equation. If you can solve the equation every cast, you're going to be a better caster. Enjoy. The Spey Casting Equation is something that I try to solve every cast. And you know, I've always said you don't go through life making the same spey cast twice. You might start at the start of a run in ankle deep water. By the middle of the run, you're knee deep. You might be waist deep by the bottom of the run. That's a variable that changes. So as the variables change, you have to solve the equation. And the spey casting equation is this. It's the height of the D-loop stroke plus the speed of the D-loop stroke equals the amount of energy in your D-loop and the amount of anchor stick left prior to the forward cast. Okay? So height and speed of the D-loop stroke affect load and, most importantly, how much anchor stick left prior to the forward cast. Because when I make a spey cast, whether I'm in ankle deep, knee deep, waist deep water, I need the same amount of anchor stick in relation to my D-loop every cast to make a good cast. I've got a Skagit line on here today. It's a Rio Skagit Max with a 15-foot Type 3. And when we're fishing Skagit lines, which we do a lot, when my D-loop is formed, I want about 10 feet. I want about 10 feet of sink tip to anchor the line. So when my line gets to this position, my D-loop comes tight, I should see about 5 feet of my sink tip as part of the bottom of my D-loop, okay? So right at this moment, I want to see how much anchor stick I have. If I've got a 10-foot sink tip on, that whole sink tip is going to anchor my D-loop, the whole thing. So you know, if you watch the Spey CPR video, which you should, we talked about seeing that moment in time. Every spey cast I make, regardless of what it is, I'm looking right there every time, right here. So when my D-loop pulls tight, I want to see how much D-loop I have and how much anchor I have, that relationship. And that'll help me solve the equation. So the height and speed of my D-loop stroke determine how much is in and how much is out. So when I make a spey cast, I've got a few options, okay? I'm just gonna do a cack-handed double spey here. I can go low and fast, okay? I went low and fast. I had the right amount of anchor and the right amount of D-loop, okay? So that was low and fast. Well, what if I go high and slow, okay? High and slow. I still need the same amount of anchor stick in relation to my D-loop, okay? High and slow works too. Or there's medium height and medium speed, okay? So I can't go high and fast. I'm going to blow my anchor. If I go low and slow, I'm going to have too much anchor stick, not enough D-loop. So we're always trying to adjust the height and speed of our D-loop stroke to get that same anchor D-loop relationship. And why, you know, maybe you're the type of caster that likes to go slow. If you go slow, you have to have a high rod stroke on your D-loop stroke, okay? Well, when you step into the top of the run, your 13.5-foot rod's 13.5 feet long. But as you get down to knee deep, your rod's 1.5 feet shorter, maybe 2 feet shorter. You get into waist deep, your 13.5-foot rod is 10, 11 feet. So what that means is the height of your rod off the water changes depending on how deep you wade. So as you wade deeper into a run, you have to adjust the height and speed of your D-loop stroke to accommodate the extra depth, in essence the shorter rod, to get that same result. So that's how you solve the equation, tweaking the height and speed of your D-loop stroke depending on the variables. And the biggest variable is depth of water you're wading in. The other variables would be length of your sink tip, how heavy your fly is, length of your rod. If you're switching rods, you kind of have to figure out how to solve the equation each time you pick up a new rod, okay? So as you step into the water, solve the Spey casting equation. Height of the D-loop stroke plus the speed of the D-loop stroke equals the amount of load and the amount of anchor stick left prior to the forward cast. Well, that was the Spey casting equation. Get out there and practice. Thanks for tuning in.